Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be bringing you guys my week 2 preview of the Washington Commanders versus Detroit Lions matchup. I'll be giving you guys an injury update, some keys to victory, and a score prediction at the end of the video. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So close to 9,000 subscribers, so please help me get there. Also, comment down below what your score prediction is for the game and who you got winning. So let's get right into it. And the last kind of week or so I've been doing some more face cam videos, so let me know down below in the comments if you guys like that format or not. So the Washington Commanders are 1-0, the Detroit Lions are 0-1, and they will be facing off on Sunday, September 18th at 1 p.m. at Detroit. So big game obviously for both teams. Let's start off with an injury report. For the most part, some good news for the Commanders. Cam Curl and Wes Schweitzer are the only guys that their status is in question. Both of them are questionable. The way I only watched a couple minutes of the press conference today, but from the way Ron Rivera was talking, I feel like Cam Curl will play. He might be a little bit limited. He might not be able to bat, some passes down or make interceptions. He'll probably still be able to bat them down, but not make too many interceptions. But he'll still be able to play. And then Wes Schweitzer, I think he might be active, but just as an emergency center if needed, just because they don't have anyone else, or they might, promote John Toth. And then Cole Holcomb, was limited the last couple of days. He's all good. Jonathan Allen was limited the first couple of days because of that groin injury he sustained at the end of last game. He's good to go. And then you have Jamin Davis. He's all good. Trey Turner's all good. And Cole Turner's all good. So all those guys will be playing. And I think Cam Curl and Wes Schweitzer will both play. But again, Wes Schweitzer won't really play unless he's needed. And then the Lions, they've got a lot of injuries. So Frank Ragnow, who's, I don't know if he made an All-Pro, but he's a very, very good center. He's out for this game. He's one of their better players. Jonah Jackson, guard, he's questionable, but he didn't practice the last couple of days, so he might not play. One of their safeties, he is questionable. Cornerback is questionable as well, but he didn't practice on Friday, so who knows there. DeAndre Swift, he is questionable. I think he'll play, though. He went from a DNP the first 2 days to a limited the last day, and I think he said he's going to play. So not 100%, but I would probably say 70% chance DeAndre Swift plays. Michael Brockers, good D lineman there. He's going to play. Same thing with Taylor Decker and Julian Kawara. So, they've got some more injuries than us. 4 guys questionable, 1 guy out. The one guy that's out is a big key player for them, impact player. He's one of the better centers in the league, and he's out for this game. We'll see about DeAndre Swift and the others. But for the most part, solid for the Commanders in terms of the, injury report. Obviously lost Fidarian Mathis. He's out for the year. He had successful surgery today. And then Chase Young, Larson, and, Brian Robinson can come back week 5. So, but not terrible. So now let's get into the keys to victory for the Washington Commanders. Alright, so the first key to victory is the Commanders have to continue to play well on third down. The first game of the season, they were great on third down, holding the Jags to 3 for 12 on third down, while going 7 for 10 on third down offensively. So that is a formula to win, and they were able to do it against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's a huge part of why they won the game. So just continue to do that offensively. Put yourself in positions where you're not trying to convert a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 13 a lot of times, because if you do, you're not going to convert a lot of those. A lot of the third downs the Commanders had to convert were 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 or less. And it's much easier to convert that, especially like a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 or 3, because you're way, less predictable. If it's 3rd and 10, they know, the opposing defense knows you're passing the football. If it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, they don't know that for sure. So if Scott Turner can continue to put them in position where, they're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, I think that'll really help out the offense. And the defense, I think that number is a little bit misleading just because of the amount of drops and stuff on third down, but still, they're much better than I thought they would be on third down, and they just got to continue to do that, communicate better in the secondary, linebackers got to play better in coverage, and I think we'll be fine for this game. So be better on third down, or do the same thing they did basically on third down last week. They should be good. Next one, they gotta, the secondary is gonna have to be much better this week because they're not playing the Jaguars receiver. We made Zay Jones look like a number 2, number 1 receiver when he's like a number 4 receiver in most receiving cores. And this team's got DJ Chark, Amon St. Brown. They got TJ Hawkinson as well, a really good tight end. We don't have to play Jameson Williams, which is good. He'll be playing eventually, and he would cook our defense. But William Jackson III, he has to step up. He was awful last week. Kendall Fuller, also not very good. Benjamin St. Juste, I think, was solid. Wasn't amazing, but was solid. And then the two safeties were all right. Bob McCain was all right, and Derek Forrest was great. So, and we get Cam Curl back, which I'm interested to see how they're going to use him. If they're going to put him, or I guess we don't have Cam Curl back 100%. We might have him back, and if we do, I'm going to be interested to see if they play him at strong safety and Derek Forrest at Buffalo nickel, or Derek Forrest at strong safety and Derek Forrest or Cam Curl at Buffalo nickel, because Cam Curl's actually pretty good at that Buffalo nickel position. But overall, though, this is a better receiving core than the Jaguars, and they're gonna have to step up. These guys can, they're good at go routes, especially St. Brown. He can beat you deep, and William Jackson III, if he's on him, he's going to have to step up, and he can't be having all these penalties like he has the first game and the last season. Same thing with Kendall Fuller. He's got to be better as well. Next one, this is just in general on defense. We're gonna have to find a way to contain Swift. Swift's gonna have a good game. If he plays, it's very likely he plays though. We're gonna have to contain him. He had he had 175 yards and 18 touches last week, and a touchdown. Just was amazing for the Lions against the Eagles. And we lost Fidarian Mathis, which is a huge blow. Our linebackers didn't play well in the first game, which is good for for DeAndre Swift in terms of his outlook for this week, in terms of his rushing yards. So they're gonna have to be better this week. Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb are gonna have to fill the gaps, help this D-line out a little bit, because there's only so much that they can do on every single play. Sometimes the linebackers have to step up and fill the gaps and make a tackle. They didn't do that well last week. So, and DeAndre Swift is better than Etienne and, Robinson, in my opinion. So, that's just something they're going to have to do. D-line also has to play well, but the linebackers do as well. They have to play well together. They have to play together, and I think they will be fine. But Swift is really solid, and they're going to have to contain him because he went off against the Eagles. Eagles have a solid D-line, or at least on paper they do. Same thing with us. So, yeah, let's see what happens there. The other one, this is a cliche thing, but can't turn the ball over 3 times. You're not going to win a lot of times with 3 turnovers on offense and only forcing 1 turnover on defense. So they're going to have to do that. They will have to force some turnovers on defense. But more importantly, let's limit it to 1 turnover on offense, at the maximum 2, and 2 still isn't great unless you're forcing 2+ on defense. So limit it to 1 turnover at max. If you're at 1, that's doable. You can win with 1 turnover, by your whole team, and then you'll probably force 1 or 2. So that's just something they got to do. Wentz can't have these silly mistakes. First interception was on him, threw it too late. Second one, a little bit of a mistake by Gibson, Leno, and then, but, Wentz also has to sometimes you got to, he has to know that Walker's there, or look before he's passing. But it was a great play by Walker, don't get me wrong, but still not a great play by Wentz. But there's others at fault there as well. They just got to limit those turnovers, got to execute better. And if they do, then, everyone's got their assignment. They'll be able to limit those turnovers, in my opinion. So those are the main keys to victory. I wanted to do another offensive one. I was trying to think, because if we had Brian Robinson in this game, I would say run the football, because the Eagles ran all over the Lions last week. Jalen Hurts ran a lot, but with only Gibson really and McKissick and Williams, but those guys aren't really going to run the ball much. I don't think it's the best strategy to run 25+ times with Gibson, but I think they can still run the ball a little bit, but also I mean, give the ball to Jahan, Terry, and Curtis. I mean, like A.J. Brown had 150 plus yards last week. So you got to target those guys. Hopefully they target Terry a little bit more this week. I want to see Terry get some more targets, and also want to see, Wentz not miss as many throws in terms of like he sailed a lot of guys that were wide open. So that's just something to consider right there. And, Jahan also was open a few times where he could have gotten a touchdown if Wentz looked at him or threw at him. So that's just another thing right there that I think they have to do. And I think they will do it. I think they will, and I think the receivers will have another big day. I think they had a total of 150 plus yards last week and 4 touchdowns. So I don't think they're going to have as many touchdowns as they had last week, but I think they'll have, maybe more yards than they had. Because I think Terry is due for like 60 to 80 yards this week. I think Curtis will be around 40 to 60. And then Jahan, who knows? I could say 50 to 100, honestly. With Jahan, I'm not really sure on that one. So those are kind of the keys to victory, 1 through the injury report. Now I'll give you guys my game prediction. So last week I predicted 27-23 Commanders. I believe that is what I predicted, and I said defense would struggle all game, but they would force a fumble at the end of the game, and didn't force a fumble, but they did have a turnover at the end of the game. So I was pretty close with that one. I'm actually doing the same prediction in terms of the score. I'm going to go 27-23 Washington Commanders. I think they win this game. I know the Lions are favored, but I think it's 2 to 3 points right now. And it is at home for the Lions, but still, I think like most of the public's betting on the Lions. I like that when that happens. Vegas doesn't like to lose, so I think the Commanders will keep it close or win this game for sure. I think they'll cover at the very least. They'll cover, and I think this is a game they should win. The Lions, they're better. They play teams close. I don't think this is going to be a blowout either way, because the Lions play teams close whether they win or they lose. They play the Eagles close. They lost by 3. They were getting killed, but I think there's like 18 with like 20 seconds left in the third quarter, but they came back, made it a competitive game, and I think that's what they're going to do in this game. They're going to make it competitive, but I think we got the better quarterback. Jared Goff is solid. He's not as bad as people think, but he's not great. He's not going to kill you with his legs. He's an okay passer. Their O-line, with Ragnar out, that's going to hurt him a lot. I think Allen and Payne are going to dominate again. That's another key to victory. It's a cliche one, but just get pressure. Payne and Allen have to take advantage of that, expecting 2+ sacks from those guys combined, or we'll just say the interior guys combined, which is basically just Payne and Allen, and then maybe Daniel Wise and F.E. Obata at times. So those are kind of the keys to victory. 27-23 is my prediction, and the Commanders have a really good shot if they win on Sunday to start the season at the minimum 3-1, because they're going to play the Cowboys without Dak, and even with Dak, they weren't looking great. And then the Eagles is a winnable game as well. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.